web page. Let's go ahead. Okay. So once you log into your dashboard, this is your dashboard. Remember, guys, this is where you guys can see all your benefits that are available to you, from the Cloud CMA to Glide to the Line Desk to RPR. And today we'll be talking about ZIPForms. We'll be going an overview of how your profile settings, as well as a transaction and a template. So those are the main things we'll be going over today. So once you scroll down on your benefits, you'll be able to see the CAR little box here down here. So you'll go ahead and click CAR so we can log into our ZIPForms. It's going to take you to a back page. So this is what you guys will see. Don't be afraid. This is just a back page. Once you go at the top right, you'll be able to sign in with your CAR credentials. If you haven't signed in to your CAR, this is the first time, you will be asked for your NRDS number. You can obtain your NRDS number. It was sent to you guys in the welcome email, or you can always give us a call and ask for your NRDS number, and we'll be gladly to give you guys that number. So once you're logged in, your name on the top right will appear as hi and your name. So for me, it's hi, Laura. You will click on that, and the first line says Access ZIPForms. We'll go ahead and click on Access ZIPForms. This will take you to a CAR page. When you scroll a little bit lower, you will see Transactions, ZIPForms Editions. So ZIPForms is powered by Lone Wolf Transactions. Through CAR, you also have your hurdler benefit. So that is directly from CAR now. It used to be from us, but now it is directly from CAR, which is also part of your CAR is one of your benefits, so you get hurdler with that. So you'll go ahead and click on Access ZIPForms to open our ZIPForms. And at the bottom, it is verifying your membership. So once that turns orange, yellow, we'll go ahead and click Continue. That is going to take you guys to a pop-up page. So if by any chance it's not bringing up this page, this loading page right now, it is maybe because your pop-ups are disactivated or are off in your computer and maybe Safari or Chrome, whatever you guys are using. Most likely, if you guys didn't see this pop-up, you guys will go ahead and see something like this. This is the page that is opened right into your web page. So we were here in our transactions, and then it automatically opens a new page with this. If you guys see this, it most likely was because the pop-up didn't open. So you guys have to make sure that your pop-up blockers are on, so you'll be able to see your ZIPForms. Once your pop-up blockers are on, this pop-up will open with your ZIPForms transactions. Right now, it took me directly into my transactions, but I'll go ahead and show you guys how to modify that to the first landing site where you guys want the first thing that opens once you open your ZIPForms. So at the top right, you'll see your dashboard. You'll see your dashboard. Next to your dashboard, you'll see forms, you'll see transactions, templates, doc inbox, tasks, your contacts, partners, shop, and help. In your dashboard, you will see any tasks that are due for this week, or you can also remove that, make it smaller. But any tasks that you may have in your ZIPForms, they will appear on there. On the left side, you will see your sign-in progress. Right now there is 0, but once we create a signature package, I'll show you what's going to appear there. On the right side, you're going to see any recent activities that you may have done in your ZIPForms. So let's go ahead and go at the top right next to me, next to your picture, or you'll go ahead and click that. This is your information. This is where you can edit your picture. So we can remove the picture that I have now or add a picture, and we'll click on Profile and Settings. A reminder that anytime you guys switch maybe your last name or an email address, phone number, broker office, anything like that, you have to notify your association, which would be us, the greater DAUR, submit a member change form, and we'll go ahead and make that change for you, which will reflect in your NR and NAR, MLS, and CR, but your ZIPForms does not. So any changes that you guys made with us will not be able to reflect in your ZIPForms. So you guys have to manually do that yourselves in your ZIPForms. So once you are in your profile and settings, this is where you'll be able to edit your, let's say you have your email or your name changed or a phone number, you'll go ahead and change that there. Remember to always press the save button. It is going to remind you though, if you guys didn't save it, a pop-up will show if you want to save any changes that you have made.
Hey, Laura, excuse me. This is Denise. We can't see what you're showing us. Our screen's frozen.
Oh.
So we can't follow along with you.
Let me see. Okay, got it. Sorry. Do you guys see it now? Let me see. Let me go back to dashboard.
Yes, now we can see it.
Okay. So this is, it was the pop-up. So this is the pop-up that comes out once you guys open your ZIPForms. So the sharing was left on the internet side. So this is your pop-up. Like I was saying, this is the first thing that's gonna show once you open your ZIPForms. So let's go ahead and edit those. At the top right, you'll be able to edit your profile next to me. You'll click on that, and then you will be able to click on profile and settings. Okay. So here, like I was saying earlier, you'll change any from your names, your phone numbers, email, anything like that. Remember to save any changes that you guys make. Next to me, about me, you'll see sign in and signatures. So this is where you can reset your password or add extra security like your mobile number or another email address. You'll have also your office information. So this is where you would change your office information. And just remember to click save. Next to offices, you have the forms tab. It says there is an expiration date, but this is just ZIPForms does make some updates every year. So don't think that the ZIPForms won't be available after March 30th. You guys will have access. So don't worry about that one. Any extra products that you guys may have bought directly from CAR, you guys can also see them here. Any settings. So this is another important one, your e-signature options. The ZIPForms gives you guys digital ink for free. So that is also one of your benefits, but it's powered by AuthentiSign. So this one, most likely everyone, well, not everyone, I guess the majority of people will use this one, but a lot of people do use DocuSigns. So whichever one you guys prefer, if you already have a DocuSign, you would have to just attach your DocuSign account with your ZIPForms by, pressing here, and it's gonna give you more access to link it. But since we don't have DocuSign, or rather said I don't have DocuSign, we'll just leave the digital ink. So this is the main one where you would choose where you want it. Once you create a signature, the first thing that's going to pop up is whether it's digital ink or your DocuSigns. But it does give you the option to edit it after in your e-signatures. So we'll see those a little bit later as well. But that is where you can change your e-signature option. You do have also the option for the time zone to change the time zone. Your account preferences gives you a landing screen. So this is where I was saying.
Training.
Good morning. Okay, so when you open your ZIPForms, the landing screen. So when I opened it, it took me directly to my transactions list. You have the options between opening directly to your dashboard or your transactions. whichever suits you guys best. For first, we'll just leave transactions for now. You also have the option to choose the different view of your transactions list. So you'll most likely be on My Transactions. And some extra preferences, transaction preferences, and any template preferences. So these are the main settings that you guys will most likely be changing once in a while. If you guys change offices or etc., maybe you want to add a DocuSign. So let's go ahead and go back to our dashboard. And let's get right to it. So we're going to go ahead and create a template. From that template, templates are recommended. It's obviously up to you guys when you guys start creating templates. It makes it easier once you create a transaction to just add a template to a transaction like that. You guys don't have to keep adding one form at a time. And if you already have a template, it swoops it all in there nicely. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to templates. And we're going to go ahead and create a new template. For this example, we'll go ahead and we'll create a purchase and offer template. You are given the opportunity to enter the name. So we'll just click this one that I already had here for an example. And you do have the option for the category. When it has the stars in red, it is mandatory that you choose at least one or fill in that information. So we'll go ahead and press residential. So this auto apply, this template, you do have the option to not automatically apply this template to any new transactions. You also can automatically apply this template to a purchase or residential. So for instance, let's say this was industrial in category. It's going to change to automatically apply this template to a purchase/industrial new transaction. So you have the option to automatically apply that template to that certain category that you guys may create in the future. You also have automatically apply this template to all new transactions. For now, we'll just go ahead and do not automatically apply this template. And we'll go ahead and click on save. So once that is saved, it is going to open that template transaction. So we'll go, the first thing first is you will want to create, you can add your documents on the right side. So we'll go ahead and start from on the top. You see your parties, your documents, any checklist, and any e-sign templates. We'll go ahead and click on parties for now. On parties, if it's a template, most likely you're not going to put the name of a buyer or a seller because that's going to change throughout each transaction. But the main one that might not be changing from so on could be your service providers. You have anywhere from your escrow to the title company to a pest control company. So you guys can add the parties directly on here. So you'll have the role, the escrow officer, you can add their name or so on. So once you add your parties into a transaction, you can go ahead and add any documents to a transaction. You have two options to add documents. On the left side, you see add documents. And on the right side, you also see all forms, which is to add any new documents as well. So we'll go ahead and add documents. Once you add documents, it gives you the option to browse from your documents from your computer, any documents that you guys may have in your computer, to create a placeholder. So placeholder is a reminder of a document that you guys need to add or finish in that transaction, or anywhere from add forms from the libraries that is provided from CAR. You can also add forms from your Dropbox, from Google Drive, Box, or OneDrive if you guys have any. For now, we'll go ahead and add form. And this is going to open the library. This automatically, it opens the CAR library. You do have the option of other libraries in here. You can select them all or choose from a specific library. Right now, we'll just leave CAR. And let's say we can add a nope. Let's see, we can add, let's say this first one, buyer amendment to escrow. What's another? You can also add, this is where any document that you would add. Remember, right now we're working on a purchase residential. Any documents that you guys usually use on a purchase residential transaction, you guys would add them here. Let's see, what's another one? Just choose this one for now. So that is how you would just add any documents to the transaction. Okay, close. There we go. So once you add the documents, you'll see them in your documents tab. You also have the option to add a folder. If you guys want to be a little bit more organized, you guys can create a folder from anywhere from, let's say, working docs. You guys can also add a folder for your signed docs. To add documents to those folders, you can click and drag, or you can select them. And then on the arrow, you can go ahead and move them to that specific folder. Let's say we put them in our working folder, and we'll go ahead and click move. Oh, why didn't I move that one? Move, working docs, move. There we go. So now once you click on your folder, your docs will be in there. Now on next to documents, we see any checklists. Let's create a new checklist. Oops. You'll name that checklist and anything you guys may like. So in your checklist, you can create new tasks here. When you hover over the title, over the name, you can edit that name, that category. Let's say we change this to meetings. You can also select a specific color for that category. We'll put red and save. You can also create a new category under that checklist on the right side. So right here, we have two categories under this one checklist. To create a task, you will just create a task. Click on the create a task. You'll have to name that task. We can name it. Right now we're under meetings. We can put meet with. You can, since right now we are creating a template, maybe a fixed due date is not the best. Usually it would be under none for templates. Once you're in a transaction, you do have the option to add a specific date for that task. You also have relative. So relative would be for instance, 1 or 2 or etc. days before or after the listing date or the listing expiration date, the closing date, date of contract, offer date, possession date, or offer acceptance date. So for now, we'll just go ahead and leave due date as none. You can add any documents to this new task. And you can also make add parties to the task. Gives you quite amount of things. So we'll just go ahead and click save. And there we created that new task. On the top next to checklist, you do have the e-sign templates. You can create a new sign e-templates. Usually for transactions, it's not something you guys would really need, but you guys do have the option always on there. So let's go ahead and go back to our dashboard. So right now it took us, we're in our templates. So since we were creating a templates, we do see this one that we just created now. Gives you the time, the name you guys gave this template, the type of template, and when it was last modified. So let's go ahead and go to our dashboard and we'll go ahead and create a new transaction now, which is going to be pretty much the similar as a template. So on the top, you'll see new transactions. We'll go ahead and do a new purchase and offer transaction. Remember, we would have to name that transaction. Let's see. I forgot the. Oh. Okay, transactions, new. Okay, new purchase. Okay, so we'll go ahead and click on the name. Usually it would be the address. Oh wait, yeah. You guys can name it whichever name best suits you guys. You guys do also have to add a category. So we'll go ahead and leave choose residential for now. You can add an image. If you do select and add an image, it's going to pull an image from your computer. So you guys would have to have that saved into your computer. You have the option to choose the status of this listing. You have from active to inactive, pending, fell through, or prospect. This is where you would be given the option to add that specific template that we just created or any other templates. So let's say we add this template that we made earlier. Any comments that you guys may need, you guys would also choose them on here. You guys can also choose on the right side, the MLS Connect. So this would pull the listing directly from the MLS. It's going to ask you for, well, we only have one option here, which is our CRMLS. Some of you guys may have other MLSs. So you would choose your MLS here. After that, you will have to select the property type and then the MLS ID. The MLS Connect can sometimes be a little bit confusing. Sometimes, depending on the MLS where the listing is, it needs usually our MLSs, maybe if it starts with just a number or a letter or a dash. Those little things can sometimes not pull the MLS, the listing correctly or right away. So sometimes just by removing that dash or that the I believe some listings have, like, let's say it had a DW and then the number of that listing, and sometimes you would just have to remove that DW or that DW slash and then that number. So it can be a little weird here on the listing ID, but usually it should prompt up the listing as you guys pull it from the MLS. So I'm just gonna go ahead and close that for now, and we'll just leave it as is. Remember to always save. So once you save it, it is gonna prompt you open. It's gonna prompt open the transaction that we just created. It does give you on the left side, when you last modified it, gives us our information, any e-sign in progress, you'll see them here once you start sending those e-sign packages. On the right side, you'll always see that add forms. So you guys can add forms pretty much at any time during the transaction. Right in the middle, you'll see the property summary. And it also lets you connect this listing to RPR directly. So if you need more information on that listing and you want to connect directly to your RPR, you do have the option here. So this is going to take you to your RPR account. Below the property summary, you see your purchase summary. Below that, you see the buying side commission summary and the listing summary, as well as the listing side commission summary. So you guys can close that just like I did right now, but that was, or leave them open. So on the top, we see from new signatures, you can always MLS, use the MLS Connect after you create a transaction. You don't necessarily have to do it from the beginning. You have the option to record connect, start a CMA of this listing. You can apply the template after as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be done from the beginning. You do have the option here to add docs. So this on the right side of all forms, it is the library. So you see the library here. But if you go back to add docs, that's where it gives you the option to add any documents from your computer directly, to add placeholders or the library, or etc. Let's go back for where we at. You also have the option to email and fax a cover sheet. On the top, you see your summary, your parties, your document. You see that checklists, any notes that you may need, your e-signatures, the history of this transaction, and any marketplace extra that you may want to purchase. So let's go ahead and go into parties. So in parties, once you're in an actual transaction and not in a template, this is where you would want to add any of the buyers or the selling information. So let's say as we create a buyer one, we'll name buyer one as, let's say, we'll name him Bob. And you would add an email address here. You can add anywhere from telephone to business information and so on. You can also add a picture of the buyer one if you like. It gives you the option to add the buyer information directly from your address book. You do have an address book here in your ZIPForms. Mine is pretty sad since I'm not a realtor. I don't have much contacts on here. But you do have the option to, if maybe you've worked with this person in the past, you can add them directly from your address book. Then you go ahead and press save. Let's say we add a seller information as well. We'll name seller 1 as Sam. And we'll go ahead and click save for now. So it's pretty straightforward how to add parties into your transaction. Adding parties from the beginning is going to be helpful once you do your e-signatures. So getting it all together from the beginning, it makes it nicer flow later once you have to, send any paperwork or so on. So on the top right, you do also see your documents. So right now we see documents already in here, which is because we added that template that we made earlier. So that's like I was saying, once you create templates, we don't have to be adding documents, right? Every time we create a transaction. So these documents that we see in here are the ones we created earlier, and it saves a step. You can always add more forms, if anything. So the idea of the transactions is the idea of the templates, it's the basics. You guys want to make maybe basic templates, and then any specific, more detailed forms or contact information relative to that specific transaction will go after. But at least your basics are in here already. We created a signed folder for our signed documents later, which we would save them in there. And any archived forms would be in here. You do have the option to, if you hover over the folder or the document, you get the arrow, and you do have the option to open, edit, archive, delete, or move this folder or form. Next to documents, you see your checklists. Like I said, these checklists are already in here because we did add that template to this transaction. You can always add more. You can always add a new checklist, new categories. Next to checklist, we see your notes, any side notes that you guys might want to add to this listing. You can add new notes here. You have the option to delete it or to save it. And then we also have our e-signatures. This is an important one as well. Any e-signature packages that you guys would create are in process would be in here. Right now we don't have any, but we will start an e-signature packet so you guys can see or give an idea of what it's going to look like once you guys start working in here. I always do recommend that you guys go in here and check it out yourselves, play around with it, click on buttons, and see where it takes you guys. For me, at least for me on my end, it's helpful to learn once you're interacting with the system yourself. You'll remember where things are at or so on. You can always give us a call here and I'll gladly be able to help you to the best of my knowledge as well. I do remind you guys that this webinar, well, not this webinar, this Zoom meeting is being recorded, so we'll be able to upload it into our YouTube channel later as well. So let's go ahead and create a new e-sign package. So we'll go ahead and click on new on the top left side. So it's going to prompt documents from this transaction that we have here. Let's go ahead and let's add a document that we have in here. See if it's going to let me go back. And we'll close that. So on the top, you see the 3 steps. It's 3 main steps to create your e-signature template. Anywhere from select the forms, we'll select the parties, and add any extra signatures. You can name this e-signature package. You have the option to edit the name. This is where at the beginning where we were selecting in our preferences if we wanted our digital or our DocuSign, this is where it would show. So automatically we have our saved as our preference to be our digital ink. This is why it prompted to be the first one. If you guys had your DocuSign prompted to be your primary one, it would prompt your DocuSign. But it does give you the option to choose. It doesn't necessarily, it's always going to be your DocuSign or it's always going to be your digital ink. Some people don't have DocuSigns, but the nice thing is that CAR does give you guys digital ink for free. So we'll go ahead and leave the digital ink. After that, it gives you the option to choose a return folder. So any of these forms would be returned into a specific folder. This is where we can go ahead and if you created that folder or in that template, you created that folder that went into your template, into your transaction, so the system would add all these signed documents into a specific folder. We'll go ahead and click our signed documents. We want them to go back into this signed document folder. This is optional, that you guys don't have to do this, but it's a nice way to stay organized. You do have the option to add more documents or any external documents from your computer for your Dropbox, Google Drive, or so on. We'll go ahead and close that for now. We'll just leave this one document on here. So once we do have that, you see the documents that are below, we'll go ahead and on the top right, click next. Now it's going to prompt us to add our parties. So right here we have buyer 1, which was Bob, and Sam, which was seller 1. I didn't add any emails, but once you guys do have those parties, you guys would have to have those emails on there for that name. Let's say we add Bob. Let's give Bob a name, a last name. Let's see, I don't know. Last name. Sorry, that's the first last name that came to my head. We'll give him an email. We'll do my email for now. And then we'll go ahead and click close. So it asked me for the last name and the email because when we created the parties, I didn't give it an email. So like I said, it is nice to create all your parties, all this, all the buyers information, all the sellers and so on, to give them all that information so you don't have to do it in here. But since I didn't do it earlier, I had to add an email now. If you do add more than one signer, they're going to be prompted here. Let's say you forget to add Sam. So we'll go ahead and click on add signer and we'll add Sam. We'll just do Sam seller. We'll do my email for now as well again. And close. So there you see both parties that it's going to be sent to. You do have the option to add the signing order. You can remove that or leave it on. The signing order would be, let's say for now it is Bobby is number 1. Bob is number 1 and Sam is number 2. So it's going to be sent first to Bob to sign. After Bob signs it, then Sam will get that email to sign that form. If you remove the signing order, it's going to be sent to them or to all these people at the same time. You can also add a reviewer. So a reviewer they won't have to sign it, but they will have to approve it and they'll have to review it and approve at the end. If they don't approve, then the package won't be fulfilled. It won't be satisfied. So the reviewer they just have the option to accept or decline the forms that are being sent to them. Next you also have the cybersecurity protection. This is extra. So this is an extra $5 per package, not $5 per party. So it's not going to be $5 for Bob and $5 from Sam. And it is from our accounts. It would be from our accounts, not from Bob or Sam. It's an extra step. You would just add you would have to add a phone number for them, and then they would get a text, and then that text is going to give them a code, and then they have to prompt that code into that email link. It's just an extra security. You guys can use it, you guys cannot. It is totally up to you guys, but like I said, it is $5 per e-signature package. On the right side, we also have our CC link. So any person, you guys can add any carbon copies, any CCs. They will not have to sign it. They would not have to review it. They're just gonna get a what's it called? A copy. They'll just get a copy of the documents that are being sent. But they wouldn't have to do any specific anything with the documents. So once you are all satisfied with your parties, you add signers, you add reviewers, maybe you want to do the signing order, or you'll go on the right side and go ahead and click next. Oh, okay, so I didn't, since this form, it was just a blank form, it is not letting me continue. But once you guys do click, all your forms are nicely filled out with all the information that you guys would input into your forms, you'll go ahead and click next. After you click next, it's going to give you the add signatures. ZIPForms will automatically add where Bobby has to sign, where Sam has to sign. It's going to prompt them those boxes automatically, but you are given the option to add more or to remove more, to add anywhere from signatures to initials to dates or etc. And after that, you'll just send that package. It's going to go to their email address. We'll go ahead and go back for now, since I cannot continue. Oh, where'd it go? We were not in this one. Where was I? Oh, this one. We were in eSign. So since I went back and I closed the ESignature, it didn't save it. But once you guys send out that email, it will save it, and it's going to prompt here in your ESignatures. It's going to say pending or completed. Once those signers sign their packages, it's going to be here as completed or pending. And under the summaries tab, you're also going to have the option. You're also going to see it on the left side, any e-signatures in progress. You will see them there. You can always add signers after you've emailed them, and so on. Another thing, when you guys do send those e-signatures, and let's say you added a document from your computer, since it's going to be a PDF, most likely going to be a PDF, and you are creating the very last step. So we added in our e-signatures package, we added the documents, right? And then we added the parties. After we added the parties, it does gonna give us a prompt as a picture to review our package before we send it out. That PDF, CAR, the program automatically adds those signature boxes. But if you add a new PDF that it's not from the forms, CAR forms library, it's not gonna prompt it in there. So that's where you would go ahead and just add a signature into that PDF. I'm sorry, I can't show you guys exactly right now. I completely forgot that I had to completely actually fill out those forms. So next time I'll have a better example, and also we'll have them in our YouTube channel. We have more examples on how to create all these whereabouts in your ZIPForms. Also, YouTube also has, if you go into the Lone Wolf YouTube channel, they also have short videos on how to create templates, how to start new transactions, how to start a new signature package, or so on. The CAR also has a YouTube channel, and they're under CAR, it's called, I believe, Zip Tips. So those are also short videos on how to go about or how to do anything in here in your ZIPForms. So let's go ahead and go back to our dashboard for now. So that was pretty much it. That for today, you creating a template, adding those templates to a transaction, and roaming. Like I said, it's easier if you guys go in there yourselves, try it out, click on buttons. Don't be afraid to click on stuff. And you guys can always give us a call here. I'll try to help you guys to the best of my knowledge. Check out those YouTube channels. That's where I've been learning myself. I'm a visual learner, so I like to look at videos and see other people try it out. The unfortunate thing is that in ZIPForms, I won't be able to see what you guys are seeing necessarily. I can open my own ZIPForms account and sort of try to figure out where you guys are at. Let's say maybe you guys are lost in a transaction itself. I can try to see where you guys are at, but I cannot access your computer to see exactly what you guys are seeing. So that's why we also refer you guys also have the ZIPForms hotline, where they have a little bit more techie in that aspect, so they can go ahead and see exactly what you guys are seeing. But go ahead and check out those videos. We'll be posting this video as well in our YouTube account. We'll just have to make a couple edits, but we'll add them to our YouTube account. There are also some videos there as now. You can go ahead and check out other videos from our, we have Glide videos, we have CMA videos, any of your benefits that are offered to you. Let me go back and share that. It's gonna let me share I need to remember to share the right forms here so you guys can see. Here we go. So we are working through these benefits throughout work. Right now we're doing one class per week through our Zoom account. So next week, I believe it's Cloud CMA that we'll be talking about. So you guys can check those classes out. They are in our calendar in the dar.com website, as well as when you log into your matrix. For example, let me log into my matrix. So this is, we were posting ads here. So for instance, right now it's the Battle Royale, the 2 legislative days. And also any news and alerts are on the left side. So where is it at? Okay, I guess the March one is still not on here, but any of the future Zoom classes, you'll see the flyers on here. Any other classes that are being offered directly from DAR are also here. Any CAR classes, we're also posting them in our calendar, so it's easier for you guys to find in our dar.com calendar. And go ahead and check out these benefits. All these benefits are free for you guys. They come